Hello there. Shall we put 2023 to bed? Yeah, I think it's about time. Very little really happened for me in 2023 beyond TF Nation getting the zine out there. That was pretty much the highlight of my year. That was the good big bit thing that I did done. So that's what I'll be thinking of fondly, along with the 10 robots I'm about to show you. As always, let's reiterate the rules of the game for those who do not know how to play. It's the 10 Transformers that I got this year. It doesn't mean they came out this year, it's just the ones that I got. We're not just purely focusing on what I thought actually was a bit of a, I don't know, I want to say limited selection in terms of like legacy and studio series this year. I'm very aware that for a good few months I've been going up the toy shop and looking at what's on the shelf and thinking, I don't want any of them. I don't want your War for Cybertron cliff jumpers. I don't want your Rise of the Beasts Rhinox. I don't want like Dirge, and you know there's just loads of stuff that's like, nah, I'm not fussed, mate. Legacy, yeah, the pure like breadth of stuff you've got on offer there that we have had this year and that we're going to get in the coming 12 months is mad, isn't it? Like I got a big new Metal Hawk toy off the shop shelf. Like, what's going on there? You know, that's mad, isn't it? Like, you say these things to someone from like 10 years ago and they would think, no, you're pulling my leg, mate. And yet I'm still sort of here thinking I'm not fussed. I don't know if the prices have a big effect on that, because I still look at new deluxes and go, I'm not spending £25 on that. I'm not spending £25 on that Shadow Striker with the wibbly arms and the car with the back end that isn't all finished. And it's, no, I don't want it. So yeah, it's a bit like, don't know what to make of what is new. There have been some blinders this year, but I feel like there's only been a couple. So let's see how we go going into the 40th anniversary year, which I hope is going to be really big. And I'm sitting here basically rubbing my hands, not for the big new legacy and studio series stuff, which looks to be even more mental than we've already had the past year. But for me, it's like, what I'm looking forward to is I've got the pre-order down on that Soundwave in the cartoon colours, because I don't have a G1 Soundwave or Laserbeak. Missing Link Convoy is the #1 thing I'm going absolutely nuts for, and just want to get here as soon as possible, because that is it. That is it. Anything else coming out, you know, even Tidal Wave, I'm just like, it's nice, but there's always a but. Anyway, let's get on and talk about the rip-roaring 10 things that I got this year that have no compromise in my liking of them. So let's begin. Oh, just picking out randomly at the start of the smallest bits. RID tow line, the original one, not the funny junky on one, which I still kind of want because I got this one this year. Yeah, look at that. Look at his colours, look at his shapes, look at his light piping. Brilliant, brilliant little toy. Just the sort of stuff they just do not make anymore. And I don't really know how much more I can say about it than I said in my TFN video. I love it. This is Rise of the Beasts Wheeljack, the little beast weaponizer one. It came with a little brown Rhinox. There's going to be a theme for this video. I don't care about Target Master Partners. I'm not including them in with these. It's like, it's nice to have as a bonus, you know, it's a bit of fun, but the real event is just this guy, you know. Transform him, don't have to mess about with putting guns places. It's just a nice figure. A lot of people complained, a lot of people are going to moan, a lot of people are going to type the word Pablo in my comments. I like Rise of the Beast Wheeljack. Yeah, he was only in the film for like 2 minutes, but he's a fun guy. He likes bugs and he drives around the Peruvian jungle as a VW camper van. What is not to like about that? This toy is just nice, it's just fun. This particular price point of the sort of main line ones that come with a little animal gun thing, they're all really good. I've bought all of them that I can find because RC just hasn't turned up. They're great, but they only made 5 of them. So there isn't like a Terracon one. Why haven't they done like a battle trap with, like, I don't know, a tortoise that turns into his mace or something? You know, what is going on with that toy line? But Wheeljack here is just a nice toy. He's posable, he's fun, the transformation is really nice. He turns into enough of a sort of nondescript camping vehicle that you know, they obviously didn't slap a big VW badge on him, which is a bit of a shame, and is the main reason I'll be looking to get the Studio Series 1. But I can see straight away that that works in pretty much the same way that this one does. So how much more I'm going to be getting out of that figure, I don't know, but I did enjoy this guy, even though he's completely beige and brown. Talking about bug enjoyment, oh, Legacy Ransack. This was probably the first toy that I got. And I sort of looked at it and went, yeah, no, you're going to be on the top 10 list, mate. Oh, what a good thing this is. I mean, that whole box set, once you could get it for super cheap off game, that was a moment, wasn't it, eh? It was a fun set, but I have to say, like, the standout thing is Ransack. And like, I've got all the Insecticons, finished them off this year. Really pleased with that little cadre of chitinous cretins. But for some reason, Ransack just hits better than Kickback. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just the colours, just that simpler yellow and black palette. The head sculpt is an all-timer. Absolute A1 super duper. Like, the big bug eyes on there, the visory face is funny antenna. Give us the Chop Shop and Venom and Barrage, you know. They were in the picture, all the side of all the Legacy boxes. You can see him there. You can see Chop Shop in the art. So where is he? Come on. Keeping it Legacy Deluxe. Here is a real surprise. I really didn't think that this would be something that I would be singing the praises of so highly, but here we are. It's Needle Nose. What the hell is he doing here? When this, you know, came out as the first wave of the year, along with like Hot Shot and that, I just was like, yeah, no, I did not pay any attention to it, because look at him, like, it's Needle Nose. Like, he's one of these blokes that just has an entire plane on his back. He's mostly grey. You know, the only things he's got going for him are the vents on his chest and the cool head. You know, I don't care about Target Masters. Already said that. They're not here. Sunbeam and Zigzag are just, you might as well have just drawn like a picture of a man on a Lego brick. They're crap. But I suppose they're a bit of an added bonus, especially when I only spent $12.99 on it. You know, I'm very glad I sort of sat waiting for this to hit clearance all year for me to check it out and see exactly what it was like, because I kept hearing things. People were saying, oh, it's actually really good once you get your mitts on it. You know, the transformation is actually interesting. The articulation is really good. He's just a good toy. And I was like, yeah, all right, whatever. I'll wait for it to be like 12 quid. And after TFN, it did come down to such a price. And I got it and thought, Christ, yeah, it's actually really good. As far as, like, I want to say, just a solid deluxe goes, this provides that. You know, it's like Sideswipe is the kind of stock workhorse solid Autobot car deluxe. This is the Decepticon equivalent. You know, repaint this a million times, I'd be quite happy, because it's great. And one thing I do want to point out with Legacy stuff, it seems this year, the plastic is gorgeous. Like, what he's made of, lovely, just properly nice, glossy material, is great. It feels great. All the joints are wonderful to move. I really like his fists. He's just, yeah, just, they're some of the best hands that we've had in years. It's just one of those toys that you just want to pick up and fiddle about with it, because it's just a good toy. Stepping up a bit, it's the Voyager Buzzworthy Bumblebee Studio Series Rise of the Beasts Optimus Prime. I really feel like it's imminently going to get some kind of re-release. It's going to be a lot easier to get and might look a bit better. But as it is, the one that we've got right now is very good. I've got his 3D printed gun on here that I painted up because I snapped his hand off. Because that's something that these do, and you should be careful of. It just fell off one day, and I was like, oh, all right. And the glue isn't taking to it. So he's only got one hand now. It's a bit mad that out of, I think it's what, like 4 molds they made this out of. They usually use like, I don't know, 16 or something. He's made out of 4 plastic molds, and they've made a toy that is as dynamic and just innovative as this. Like, this is the first time that hips have ever worked like that on a Transformer. You know, transformation is a hell of a lot easier than the Bumblebee one, who was almost on this list because I did finally get my hands on one of those this year and felt like, oh, okay, it is actually quite good. Because for the longest time I was avoiding that because I don't feel like it captures the on-screen look at all. Like, all the shapes of it are wrong. As a toy, as a new modern Optimus Prime, it's really good because it feels like an evolution of the original Diaclone Battle Convoy. That's the only way I can describe that toy. It's like, I don't care about it looking like a film or anything like that. That's got nothing to do with it. It's the way that it works to evolve and expand upon everything that the original toy did is great. And then this one kind of does the same thing as well and goes a little bit further with that. It's been a good year for Optimus Primes. And this has to be one of the ones that has hardly been out of my hands. So there we go. Moving on to big boys now. Oh yes, it's G2 Greymon Grimlock. I espoused the virtues of this in my TFN video. I've got nothing else to say about it. It's brilliant. I love looking at it. It has been sat on my coffee table for most of the time since I got it. Fun, big, chunky, clicky toy. Sublime. And in these colours, out of this world. Out of this world. Look at the teal on it. Keeping it leader-wise, it's Armada Megatron. Yeah, I like it. I like it, but I'm very aware it would probably not actually be on this list if it wasn't for Sam's 3D printed shoulders that let it do that. Because, you know, it doesn't really do anything special. Like Starscream, like Hotshot, it's just, it's all right. I have to say, I feel like the sculpt on this is better than those two. Whether or not, you know, the electronics and all the gimmicks matter that much to you. I've been waiting 20 years to just be able to do that. To just do that and get these enormous shins that are just some of the best looking robot legs that have ever been made to bend and pose. That's why it's here, just for that. Just, it's one of those things where the new one doesn't invalidate the old one whatsoever. You know, like Needle Nose, like, yeah, like I've literally got no reason to ever touch the G1 Needle Nose now. I've got that one. But the original Armada Megatron is still good because it has all those things it does. And this one is just another one that you can have to pose instead. It's like, have one for posing, one for playing. And I can't complain. That's fine in my house. That's perfectly fine. Keeping it Megatron, the nicest G1 thing that I got all year, because I got a couple of good bits that I was happy with, but this is just it. Reissue TF Collection Megatron from 2002. Woo, yeah, nice. Basically, I started 2023 with this in mind as a grail, because I was very aware that it's like, yeah, I need a G1 Megatron, and they're so hard to find in really good nick, and they're expensive. And then I saw this one come up on eBay, and it was like, oh, I can just about afford that. It's not 100% there, because like for some reason the chrome on like his shoulder on this side is tarnished. He hasn't got the mouse pad that he's supposed to come with. He hasn't got all of the stickers that he's supposed to come with. He didn't have a Decepticon badge on his chest, so I had to use one of the stickers from the big sheet of extra ones that he comes with, not the one off of the sticker sheet that you're supposed to put on his chest, so it looks a little bit off. But wow, what a thing, eh? What a thing. If you've never handled a G1 Megatron, then I can't quite describe it to you, because, you know, I never had done before this point. The one thing I would say is he's heavy. Like, if you hold this in gun mode, it's probably about the weight of a real gun. You know, there's a lot of die cast in here. Probably a little bit too much for his own good, because then his legs go a bit wobbly and, you know, things start to compress under their own weight. He only really does that. He only really does that. Nothing else moves. His legs are weird. How do you want to have them? But the chrome and the metal and the stickers and the mace and the big shiny sword, timeless, isn't it? It's an iconic thing. Will they do a missing link one of these? Honestly, I've got no idea how they can. You know, now I've actually got this in my hands, I keep looking at it and thinking, well, how the bloody hell are you going to put full axis of shoulder motion on this? How are you going to give him a neck? How are you going to give him hips? You know, when it works the way that it does to transform, I really don't know how they're going to do that, if they ever would. You know, will Missing Link be a one and done thing where it's just the Optimus Prime with all the joints in that you've dreamed about for 40 years? Or will it be a new line? That is up to the fates. But here we are with, you know, proper OG Megatron. It's just a nice thing, and I could not put it on the list. So before we hit what is my absolute favourite toy of the year, we're going to talk about what is the absolute best toy of the year. Oh, look, what a surprise! I'm holding up Armada Optimus Prime to you. Oh, should we make this a thumbnail? I think we probably will. Brilliant, 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 brilliant. It's not perfect. Being the Armada fan I am, I'm going to be a bit like, hey, it's not perfect because, oh yeah, I don't really like how that happens. Sometimes you move his arms and his shoulders just explode. The main thing I don't like, probably the only thing I don't like, really, is his hands. Like, that's not how a fist looks. It's not how a hand holding something looks. Why are his thumbs so small? This hole just looks silly, and you know, from like that, like it's like he's holding a really tiny cup. Were they gonna do the thing that Jetfire did and have the little port disappear into his palm, and then they just gave up on it? I don't know. I don't like the hands. I don't like the hands. They don't look right as fists. They don't look right open. Why have you got these massive bits either side of like his knuckles? You know, no, I don't like the hands. But the rest of it, brilliant, mate. I painted his eyes because that was absolutely necessary. I'm not going to abide the wrong eye colour on this. They have to be red. But it just feels like beyond, you know, legs, beyond having actual legs for once. And all that click. Yeah. And I have to say, I appreciate the fact that the legs go one click the wrong way on his knees, so you can get that proper like anime hero stance. Megatron does it as well, which is very nice. Thank you, Hisui-san, just for that, basically, just for that. But the whole damn rest of the thing, what an event! What a proper good thing this is. Like, forget about its place within Legacy, Generations and all that. It's just what a Transformer should be at this size and price. It's the big toy that you should get for Christmas, and that's exactly the vibe that it should channel, because that's what the original one was. But then I pick up the original one and I look at it and go, wow, did they really just leave it finished in this state? Because this just adds so much polish to the whole thing. It's like looking at the old one, did they really just leave a big hole down his back? You know, look at that. There's no gaps here. It all fits in snug, closes up. There's nowhere for dust to go down in there. It's all solid, one single piece of a torso. The bum flap is maybe a bit much, but you know, you can let it off. I have to say, it does still bother me that there are no mini-cons, or that we've only got two. You know, it really just would have gone above and beyond and put this straight over the top, through the hoop, score 2 points, if it had a spark plug. That would just make it perfect, beyond the hands. But I can cross my fingers and hope that we are still going to get some more mini-cons released somehow through some sort of avenue of a box set or God knows what, because the one thing that this guy is ready for is some more modern 5mm compatible mini-cons. You know, you can fit more of them on him than you would have been able to original ones on the old one, because he's got ports all over the place, you know, and I'm looking forward to a day when I can cover him in little cars and tanks and things, but who knows when that's going to be. But anything can happen. One thing 2023 has shown us with, you know, the stuff we have got, it does still feel like anything can happen, even though it also does feel like they're reining in the budget a bit, you know. I don't need to tell you how good this is. Everyone has said this is the best thing that came out this year. So do you want to know what I liked even more than that? It's the little Optimus Prime that came with a dog chainsaw. This is it. This is it. This is it. This is the one thing that I've handled the most. The one thing that I just don't want to have very far away from me. Brilliant. It's just a silly old cheapy, you know, absolute mass produce. You can find them all over the place. Just run-of-the-mill toy. I'm quite confident in saying that this is a thing that you won't have really paid any attention to. It's among the whole collector sphere. Who really pays attention to the lines that are just for kids, you know? Hasbro know that we don't. That's why they don't promote it. So you just have to, you know, rely on people finding them in a shop somewhere and, you know, making a news story saying, oh, this has been found somewhere, because they're not going to tell you, because they don't think you care. I do care. I do care, small sub-deluxe Optimus Prime. You're very good. Because what this is so much of a kind of channeling through the ages, the 4 decades we've had, of the original toy. It carries that spirit, you know. It's not something that's hard to get. It's not something that's aimed at anyone over the age of 12. It's just a toy of Optimus Prime, and he turns into a truck in an easy, fun, intuitive way, and that's it. That's it. Yes, it comes with a dog that turns into a chainsaw, but again, not really fussed about. Sure, it's been a selling point for some people, but this is it. Just this on its own, just as an action figure, it's really posable, fully posable. You know, got ball joints and that all over the place. Move his head, move his waist. No kibble to speak of. You know, a bit of a bum flap that gets in the way of his legs a little bit, and the wheels there. But that's it. It's just a good size, you know, small enough to go in your pocket, just like general purpose Optimus Prime. You know, it doesn't even matter that it's the design of the newest film. It's just him. It's just that bloke again. You know, any of that distinction between what we call it. The fact that all the detail really is there from the movie model on a little cheapy toy like this is kind of irrelevant. You know, that is, however, tangentially, just let me put that point to one side and say that is, however, really good, because I like this thing so much. I bought it again and painted it up like it should look, like he does in the film, because the detail is there and it just cries out to be picked out. And honestly, that was a lot of fun for me to do this year. Like, that was just a really fun project, because there's stuff on the go here with his like legs and forearms that the big bloody 30 quid Voyager one hasn't got. You know, it's good and it's actually very accurate. Okay, it hasn't got like the big bull bar on the front of the truck, and while, yeah, like I said with Wheeljack, I really like this price point and I went in on all of them, it's good despite all of that, despite the line that he comes in, despite the entire whole worth of the franchise that we've had this year. This one toy on its own is brilliant, and I feel like is the one thing that loads of kids are going to have had. This might be the only one they ever get, or it might be the first one they get. Isn't that a really good thing? Isn't that a point of merit? Love it, like properly love this thing. Would it work if it was a toy of a different character? I don't know. I feel like, again, it's like, yeah, it's been a good year for Optimus Primes. He's been a star again. Would this be so good if it was Jazz? I'd like a Jazz like this, yes, but I feel like there's something that has coalesced here. That star appeal, that #1 poster boy, face of the franchise, robot Superman thing is here. And to just have a brilliant little, just general action figure of Optimus Prime feels great. The vibes are immaculate. There we go. It's done. It's out of my system, free from my brain. 2023, I let you go. Let's get on and see what the new year brings. What did you like that came out in 2023, or that you found randomly in 2023? Drop a comment, engagement, subscribe and like. I put out so few videos this year, didn't I? All the best to you for this next set of moon phases. Let's get that bread.